Good evening, thank you for joining us. Should businesses and taxpayers across Yorkshire help to pay for insurance cover for those flooded on Boxing Day? It's one option being discussed by the government, with at least 100 companies in the Calder Valley claiming they're now unable to renew their policies.
Talks have been held today with the issue of who should pay at the forefront. In a moment we'll hear from the insurance industry, but first Olivia Richwold has tonight's top story.
Sid and Valine Jones didn't have flood insurance. On Boxing Day, 5 feet of floodwater filled their shop and cafe in Hebden Bridge. Now they face a bill of at least £20,000 and 3 months without an income.
We've had quotes for £35,000, which for a business this side is totally out of the question, or a premium with an excess of £50,000. So you have to pay the first £50,000 worth of damage. Clearly, they just don't want to insure us.
My first reaction was to walk away, because this is the third major flood I've had here, and I've been here 20 years. But because of the groundswell of support, we are going to stay, and we are becoming more positive about it.
They plan to reopen in April, but flooding remains a big risk. Insurance extremely unlikely. Calder Valley MP Craig Whitaker is calling on the government to set up a scheme so everyone can get insured. The subject was debated in Westminster yesterday, and today more meetings were held.
We need a solution, and it's not just the government, it's got to be with the insurance industry, it's got to be with the local council, and indeed the businesses themselves. And I'm hoping today, after this roundtable discussion by all the leaders from all those sectors across the UK, that we start to see some progress towards getting just that.
One idea is for all businesses to pay a little bit more to help subsidise those in flood risk areas. A scheme like this for homes comes into effect in April.
This is Halifax town centre, and shops here don't have to worry about flooding because they're a long way from the nearest river. So the question I've been asking businesses here today is, do they think they should have to pay more insurance to cover their neighbours upstream in the Calder Valley?
My answer is no for this question, because government should be sort this one out easily, because we're paying so much taxes.
To be honest with you, I think we pay enough for insurance as it is.
Cynically, we probably all end up paying for it anyway through extra insurance premiums. The insurance companies never lose, they usually get it back.
The government says charging all businesses extra would be complicated and could even encourage more to open in flood risk areas. So for now, small shops like this must take the risk or close for good. Olivia Richwold, BBC Look North, Hebden Bridge.
I've been speaking to Malcolm Tarling, who represents the insurance companies. I asked him what the industry was doing to help.
What the insurance industry really does want to do is to find ways of ensuring that flood insurance remains affordable for businesses, and there are scope for businesses to, working with their insurance advisor, take steps to minimise the risk, which hopefully in most cases should make affordable insurance a reality.
So let's say people take steps to protect their properties, to protect their businesses. At the end of the day, though, they're still being charged an awful lot by these insurance companies. What can you do to change that?
What we can do to change that is to make sure that businesses are aware of the full range of options that are available to them, working with their insurance advisor to take steps to minimise the flood risk.
Now, the local MP, Craig Whitaker, for the Calder Valley, is suggesting that there might be some sort of cross-subsidy between businesses to help out the people who are in flood-ridden areas. What do you think about that?
We have not been presented with any evidence that shows there are widespread problems in firms being able to access flood insurance, unlike for individual property owners, where we are aware that as many as 350,000 homeowners are at risk of not being able to afford flood insurance.
Just need to interrupt you there, actually, because we're hearing from Rory Stewart that he's aware that businesses are struggling. We're hearing from the local MP that he's aware that businesses are struggling as well. So there is a picture that's being created there. It's not just households.
We know of localised issues, and we always advise firms to work with their insurance advisor to take steps to reduce the flood risk wherever they can. But we're not aware of major issues affecting thousands of businesses across the country, unlike on the home insurance front.
A lot of these businesses will just be in pockets of the country, won't they? Because there'll be the areas that are being hit by floods. What do you think about maybe insurance companies taking a bit less profit?
It's not about profit. Insurance companies are there to stand up and deliver when floods occur, and that's what they've been doing. If you look at the last few weeks since the floods, insurers have already paid out in emergency payments to businesses alone over £15 million. So it's not a question of profit, it's about insurance companies paying out when floods occur. That's what they're doing, and that's what they're committed to doing.
OK, Malcolm Tarling, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.